Good evening. Welcome to 17th talk of the talk series 2020 conducting by System Society of India, Tirunelveli chapter. Today we have an eminent speaker to deliver the talk, Dr. P.V. Venkitakrishnan. On behalf of SSI Tirunelveli chapter, I welcome you, sir, to this talk series. Welcome you all, those who are attending the talk. The topic for today is attracting FDI in space sector. I am very much privileged to introduce Dr. Venkitakrishnan, sir. Sir joined ISRO in 1983 and has 38 years of experience in aerospace and manufacturing field. While returning, he was Director Capacity Building Program Office, ISRO Headquarters. After that, he served as Professor Satish Dhawan, Scientist at ISRO Headquarters for 1 year. Before moving to Headquarters, he held many posts in VSSC, LPSC and IPRC, like Associate Director VSSC, Director IPRC, Deputy Director VSSC MME, Deputy Director LPSC. Prior to this, he was worked as Deputy Project Director for GSLV Mark III, ISRO's prestigious launch vehicle project. Yes. Personally, he is Professor of Practice, IIT Madras, Advisor, Agnikul Cosmos, and many more. Basically, he is a mechanical engineer graduated from QSAC, postgraduate and doctorate from IIT Madras. To his academic, he has postgraduate diploma and MBA from Annamalai University, and he is recipient of many awards like ISRO Individual Merit Award for Excellence, ISRO Performance Excellence Award, and so many group awards. Then he has a distinguished alumnus from IIT Chennai, Dr. Biren Roy Trust Award, Dr. S.B. Furk Endowment Award, National Meteorologist Award. So many things are there. To his Lifetime Achievement Award from Society of Aerospace Manufacturing Engineers, then Lifetime Achievement Award from Indian Institute of Materials Management, IIM. He has association with a lot of professional bodies, Fellow of Institute of Engineers, FIE, Fellow of Indian Institute of Metals, FIIM, Fellow of Aeronautical Society of India. He has got more than 100 publications in national and international journals and conferences. With this, I am welcoming you, sir, once again to deliver this talk. Now the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening to all of you, my dear members who are attending this 2020, a new concept which has been introduced by SSI for quite some time. Happy to meet all of you here. Not much of time is left, so I will just plunge into the topic straight away without wasting time. That is attracting FDI, that is foreign direct investment in space sector. What all things we have done, what we can do, what are the ways of attracting FDI to simulate and trigger the space ecosystem in our country. So you all are aware that evolution of, I'm not dwelling on this, it's all not very, but just to make the flow simple to make understand, humble beginnings in 60s to 80s, measured expansion from 80s to 2000s, and sustained growth from 20s to 20. So this is around some 60 years of whatever happened in space 1.0, we can call it. And rapid acceleration beyond 2020 is planned through this space reforms as well as this kind of relaxation in FDI, so many other space policy reforms, whatever we have made afterwards to stir the ecosystem of space beyond ISRO and make rope in private also is called Space 2.0. So this is the humble beginning. Sarabhai's vision was the greatest thing. I'm not dwelling on this. You can just go through this, and he has started Ahmedabad, BRL, Trivandrum, Sriharikota, and all these things. And finally, this is in 60s to 80s, maybe during his vision was really guiding us. And same beginnings continued with his demise as well as Dhawan's taking over as his successor. And Dhawan's pragmatism shaped the structured space program like this, whatever we are enjoying today, all review mechanisms and other things. You all know that building blocks, higher capacity launch vehicles, NRM, SATCOs, and industrial interface and partnerships were forged. So measured expansion happened in 80s, 2000 for 20 years, wherein we all joined actually the kind of generation what we all together now today. We are overall the helm of the affairs as well as who are just retired robotic, they're all joined during this time period, building on the solid foundation, liquid and cryogenic propulsion treatment. So all these things, and we stabilized almost all launch vehicles, perfecting the workhorse launch vehicle PSLV also happened during this period. IRS program, INSAT program, all happened during this period. Sustained growth in 2020, operationalizing the three indigenously developed launch vehicles, PSLV Mark II and Mark III, mastering cryogenic engines, interplanetary mission Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, science mission Astrosat, commercializing the launches through ENSIL and Antrix, Els-2L Antrix, and navigation constellation Navig series and GSAT series also happened during this period. So what next? The question came. Actually, we need to expand further. Other countries are growing into interplanetary missions and all, and human space missions and all these things. So we need to invest much more on that time as well as effort and resources. So one way is to see that whatever productionized systems are handed out to the industry, and as a startup, actually as a beginning, we have given PSLV to HAL and L&T consortium right now. And once it is proven, and SSLV is going straight away to industry only, we are not manufacturing it internally at all. So all these things are changes what we have made. And NGLV, even though now on the annual, it's only a kind of scaling up actually. These kind of things learning really enthrall us right now, as well as so it's a kind of activity what we can do it within our domain expertise. So what is the kind of diverse we can have is we can go into deep space missions more, like docking, Bharati Antariksh Station, BIS, right now it is coming, Gaganyaan and all. Such kind of activities are going up, gearing up right now. And the normal activities are being shifted to the industry. So you can see that kind of space economy is constituting of downstream as well as upstream. The upstream is nothing but up to launching of whatever we are, and including operations and signal providers and ground segment support, everything. And non-space actors like information service provider, value adders, integrators, all put together. There's a kind of downstream activities. There's ground equipment service developers, retail delivery, and whoever is making economies through using space technology constitute the downstream activities, and put together is a space economy right now, not the kind of space economy as it was launching and getting some revenues through launch alone now. The same ecosystem, even the mobile applications development, everything fall in the ambit of downstream activities, and put together is a downstream activity right now. See, the thing is now, we have a bottom-up approach right now. We have to simulate the demand more now. More and more demand is coming through space applications, space technology applications, demanding more and more satellite, and more satellite means more and more launch vehicles and launch opportunities. This is the kind of approach right now being propagated. Space economy upstream. In the upstream, for a long time, the private sector was strictly contractual subsystems and component. Now, the agency, space agency in charge of procurement was the role of system integrator only. Thus, early private players upstream domain were mostly established ones in defense and aerospace ecosystem, who were accustomed to working in the government turnkey contract mode. Right now, that is not that they are becoming partners of joint partners and joint ventures, and we have joint ventures with public and private domain PPP participation also coming into picture. And government-owned and operated businesses are coming up more. Actually, the downstream business is started building a few years after the first satellites were launched, and downstream business combining of satellite communication, observation, and satellite navigation. So new space is a disruptive sectorial dynamic featuring various end-to-end efficiency-driven concepts, driving space sector towards more businesses and service orientation for mankind. The outer space is congested and contested, as you all know that, and resiliency can be enhanced by developing launch-ready spacecraft. And if something happens, immediately we need to recover from whatever has happened, either through an attack or weaponization or anything. So resiliency can be enhanced by developing launch-ready spacecraft and rapid response to launch vehicles. These are the order of the day now. So new opportunities are coming up because of all these things. India is experiencing a significant gap between the demand and supply of transponder capacity. You all know that the capacity to update telecommunication satellites, and in orbit is almost nil. We can't enhance the capacity in orbit satellites, transponders. On orbit refueling also another challenge. Space situational awareness is a new branch which is coming up, and exploit the opportunity, mitigate the threat should be our fundamental focus. So from this, you can see that India is investing almost 0.049 of the GDP in the budget fund. So government is becoming an enabler now. Government is only becoming an enabler now. Increasingly, private and other sectors are going to play a big role in the years to come. So what is the way to attract? Is the resources are sufficient for us? What is the way to attract foreign investment to our country? These are the things being discussed right now in the next segment of our talk. So new space phenomenon, you all know that venture capital funded startups are coming up in a new way. The intervened nature of the applications of other space sectors like banking, telecom, transport, media, name a few, are being realized. A sizable chunk of skilled manpower is going to look for some other opportunities right now, because they will become jobless now because of this kind of a approach what we are right now taking. But they can go to private sector as well, definitely. The only thing is the focus is shifted to from government to private. So you can see that from 1 billion in 2005, 2000, I am not updated now. In 2008, it was 10.2 billion actually, but today it is around 11.6 billion in 2025. So the kind of growth what has happened subsequently has become almost a kind of saturation actually. The commercial activity it's the next $1 trillion industry actually. We should capture some of this kind of market right now. India should capture, and now we are having 2% share, it at least should come to 10% now. You can see newer avenues are coming up, new spaces identifying business opportunities which traditional space companies never considered. For example, in-space propellant service reports are to be planned now. Apart from that, software as a service now changed to ground station as a service, including software now. Space sector is looking for a satellite telemetry services. These are paradigm shift in the approach now from the software approach to ground station as a service now, including software. Established players such as Amazon and Microsoft has already started Amazon Web Service, AWS and Azure. You are all aware that partnering with traditional companies like KSAT from Netherlands. Yet another one has asteroid mining. You all know that even though there was some ambitious project which failed, it has surfaced again right now. And you are all aware that a company has already entered into a contract with a European company for mining helium from moon. Around 1 kg, 7,000 gallons actually. And helium is required in large quantity for our quantum computing right now. And the helium what is available in on the Earth is not really sufficient for this kind of computing activities projected in the years to come. So an industry in transition, you can all say that what are the kind of, so many things are on the anvil actually. Not only the traditional vendor role, but also taking up end-to-end activities. People that industry has to, and government has to act as only as an enabler actually. And GIA unleashed timely reforms in 2020, started in 2020, and the reforms were actually made to put into force on 2023 around. And 2024, actually February, we had the FDI next level of thing, that FDI liberalization. You can see that percentage of global market share what we're having is around US is 40%, UK is 7%, India is 2% actually. And India has to grow to 2030 around 9% of global market to capturing 50 billion USD actually. That is the kind of aim what we are having right now with the private as well as public participation enhanced. So New Space India Limited is another small public sector company. We have coined actually to see that the commercial activities of ISRO are taken care of. We can't collect revenue directly, so we need to have a kind of a window for all these things, single window agency. And this is and apart from the aggregating the launch activities, what is happening from outside, NCL has to play a significant role in the demand-driven model, including technology transfer as well as this ecosystem building. So another agency which we have put into place is in space actually, Indian Space Authorization Promotion and Authorization Center, empowered national body under DOS, single window agency which interacts with the ISRO as well as private industry and startups and academia to see that ISRO's resources are being shared to them on a time sharing basis for a nominal cost, and avoiding duplication of capex investment from the heavy capex investment from the private industries, which is unaffordable to them. Promotion and hand-holding the industries, building launch vehicles and satellites. Yesterday there was even the toolings what is available in the industry right now in HAL and Midani or SAFL has been now shared with the private parties with a tri-party agreement, including in space, the user party as well as the lending industry. So the kind of the cost what is being charged only a maintenance cost of users cost of sometimes 5% and another 5% for the maintenance cost. So this becomes very affordable for the startups, which is mainly consisting of student community, to see that their burden for heavy investment is little lightened by this kind of shared facility from ISRO as well as industries. A strong regulatory framework is required to see that Indian space ecosystem is coming up. Indian Space Association with industries, non-governmental agency also has been formed now. Ease of doing business has been now very much the Indian Space Policy 2023. It has now created a lot of enthusiasm in the youngsters. And today around 140 space startups are doing extremely well. Apart from another 200 actually is actually surface now. 60 is on the beginning stage. 60 plus is on the beginning stage, and 140 are doing excellent. And out of that, 10, 15 are doing excellent business. So different phase of development of space economy. Readiness itself is taking a lot of time for a level of space activities. If you see the time scale, intensity of activity has to be intensified. The impacts made, then only finally on the break, finally only the break even comes. The gestation period is more in this entire business cycle itself. So we need to have a kind of a small approach. What next we call it? The mindset has to change, adopt newer solutions for existing frameworks. Flexibility actually is the key word. Actually, investment model has to be suited for space sector. Capital intensive and bigger lead times. People have to come forward for investing more, for expecting a larger lead time. Sharing of facility and resources, not only by government but by established private industries. Even our ATL Anand Technologies Limited is sharing their facilities like Thermovac and vibration table with the other startups and all right now. And of course, that integration through NCL has not happened. Actually, I have been talking to the NCL to take up private players also to integrate and share their resources so that we can at least double the kind of resource providing to the startups. So we can leapfrog through JV. JV joint venture has got its own limitations that you can hold 49 plus 51%, 51% by the guiding agency as well as the leading partner. And BrahMos is a example for joint venture with Russia. Actually, we are having, and there the technology transfer happens, and the production completely is not controlled by Government of India. It's controlled also by the partner from outside. Technology transfer is one thing what we have been talking about long back itself. We have been using this, including Vikas engine from SCP France and all. The technology has been transferred for leapfrogging. Actually, this is one of the oldest technologies, oldest method we have been using for leapfrogging to come to a kind of a platform very fast. And multinational companies, if you see, are having brand names more actually of consumers and other things and all. If you can see, for example, if you can see Louis Philippe shirts and all, they get into the market very fast because of the consumer market what they're having, and they don't have to have a facility here to produce that. They can franchise our thing outside and they can use the brand name to get the niche market. But if you see these kind of activities right now, they are actually making money out of our country, and our country is not actually getting much out of this through MNC and corporate business. But foreign direct investment has got a different connotation right now. Actually, they can invest here in India, use our manpower, more economical manpower and facilities, and whatnot, a kind of relaxations given by government. Tax or whatever benefits, all they can enjoy. But only thing is we need to have an ecosystem prevailing here. Nobody will come from their own country. For example, somebody has to come here and invest from Germany. Do you mean to say that they'll come just like that here and invest and start some business here totally and start producing their product here? Because we need to have a customer base here, client base here actually. So that much of consumers have to be there in our country to see that they're attracted here. Otherwise, no. Why do they come all the way here from Germany, produce things from here and export from our country, which they can easily do from their own country? So another thing, this is what we need to see that now. So the thing is that we cannot. The same thing, if these people are not coming and investing here, the other way of doing thing is importing from there. So they can continue to export from their country and we can continue to import, and they can as well get the same market by monopolistic things. So another way of countering this is Atmanirbhar Bharat, what we are doing right now through indigenization and this one actually this one confident about making our things in our own country. So this ecosystem building is a kind of a vicious circle. If you see, you can say that if you want to produce, for example, if you take Mitutoyo, our vernier, for example, each of the education institutions having at least multiple number of verniers. Right now, also coming from Mitutoyo, we can make it easily here. But if you make it that kind of diametrically stable steel and start marketing here, do you ever expect to give it to the price what Mitutoyo is giving right now in India? We can't, because they have started producing it long back. They are an established market and they got a marginal costing now. They are producing the end product now. The marginal costing technology, whatever they produce, they can do for a reduced cost and still retain their market, defeating the purpose of indigenization. What we are doing to go to. So market entry for an established product is very difficult when you start late the activity. So what is the way out actually? There are only the innovations and patenting is pitching. If you are in an innovative product, actually, you don't have a kind of competition. Is first of thing what you're producing right now. You don't have to go for competition at all. It's your monopoly you're starting right now, and that's why they know innovation and get claiming that innovative right of the innovation patenting is becoming more important here. So adapting advanced technologies, AI and 3D printing for AI for simulation and doing away with prototypes and other things, and 3D printing for enhancing the facilities, all can reduce the lead time. All these things actually can simulate this ecosystem, and then this can invest actually. If you can reduce the cycle time by adapting newer technologies, you can attract more investors. The gestation period is less, means you can invest more, and because it gives you more returns actually. The lower gestation period means people will be more attracted to invest in this sector. So India's liberalized FDI policy, if you see 2024, 100% for foreign investment through automatic route, through manufacturing components and ground system segments and other user segments, and FDI is followed by up to 75, and this is for satellite components actually, and 75% automatically with government approval required for investment beyond that limit. In launch vehicles is limited, of course, 49%, 51% still we are holding because of the strategic nature of the dual nature of the product actually what we are using. So here also, if we can go beyond 49, 51% only, we can attract more. But if you can simulate more of satellite launching demands and other things, including space technology applications, more and more launching can be demanded, and launch capacity is still limited to 6 spacefaring nations, as you all know that. But almost all countries, 130 for 140 countries, are requiring satellites for their daily use and their activities. But whereas the launch capacity is still limited to around 6 to 7 countries. So still we have got a lot of scope to see that we are getting a good share of launch capacity and launching requirements. So this also, this need to be simulated actually. The demand of satellites need to be simulated through making an ecosystem, as well as space technology applications becoming more wider and more demand is there. So it's a bottom-up approach actually. So benefits, you can see 100% FDI is allowed in the space sector, 74% for automatic routes, 49%, and up to 100% under automatic route for manufacturing, ground segment and other segments. This is one thing I just want to reinforce again, one thing what we have done to see that FDI is coming to India. See, innovations, where do we really see? Where do we really stand right now? Out of 2025, we have come to 38th. From 48th in 2020, 10 ranks we advanced to become 38th and 130 the economies if we compare. And in the regional lower income group, top performer actually, we are the top performer and a leader in the central and southern Asia region. So you can see this is one of the important things what has picked up actually, the Global Innovation Index, GII, and increase the grant of patents. If you can see the ranking in India, we have around, we are now 149.4% actually increase in the grant of patents in the year 2023 in the deep tech and AI and the space tech technologies. And India saw 64,480 patent being applied. Recent growth actually is around, you can see 42,000 in 2013-24, whereas right now it has come to 64,480. It's almost double actually. The driving factors growth driven by advancement, artificial intelligence, deep tech, and space tech, and healthcare. And we are good, very good in pharmaceuticals, doing a good business in pharmaceuticals also. So domestic contribution for the first time, our 55.2% of India's patent applications has come from domestic applicants. And grant increase, the grant also has increased 149. So we are granting of patents also has increased by around 150% actually in the recent years. So if you see all these put together, we have to simulate this ecosystem in the coming years with the four-based pillar actually, the bill based on four pillars: freedom of innovation. Innovations can be mostly done by private sector only. I don't think that we have much coming from the government or public sector. Role of government as an enabler, prepare the youth for the future and see the space sector the resource for program for common man. From this bottom-up approach, we can simulate this ecosystem, attract more FDI to find more customers in India, not allowing them, not asking them to again export from this land, so that more and more FDIs are coming to India. So this is what really we need to. So an integrated approach is required to see that apart from the relaxation of rules, a congenial ecosystem need to be nurtured in India. That's what we are trying to do by giving these startups and other things and private participation. You can see the growth, the kind of projected growth in the economy of space around $1.03 trillion actually by 2040. So this kind of, and out of the 10% at least we should grab it. There's a kind of aim what we are having right now. A start has been made in the form of InSpace as a single window agency interfacing between ISRO and private and public and academia. A small step which further progress can be made. And doing the thing what we are really doing alone in the years to come is not going to really pay off. We have to do it something differently to have more and more investment coming from other sectors also. That's what we are doing right now. Challenges are plenty, and so are the rewards also. A stronger indigenous industry base, a more job opportunities, an optimistic future is really for sure in store for all of us. So I think this is what actually I just want to convey in this 20 minutes to you. A kind of approach what we are doing right now is the thing really to be done. I don't think anything else could have been done at this stage to enhance our wider investment base as well as the resource base, to see that this highly capital intensive activities taken care of in the years to come, apart from the government investment where we have got limitations in investing because of our vast priorities in other sector also, including our population. So towards self-reliance of Indian space program, the tireless journey for pursuit of excellence continues through generations and generations. Let us join hands and Jai Hind. Thank you.
Perumal here. So thank you, sir. On behalf of SSI, we thank you for the wonderful talk on attracting India in space sector. Sir, you have given a deep insight, and sir has covered the how we have evolved on the space program, newest space program. How sir has covered what the definition of what is downstream and upstream in space sector. And we also have got insight about the new space program, what is the growth potential in this area, and how the industry has to transit from the to meet the new Space India policy. And also, sir has wonderfully explained the role of NSIL and the InSpace about the approval procedures and permission in the new sector. And also the through these, sir has touched upon the ease of doing business in space sector. So sir also has given the way of how we can improve get profit in this through space economy. Sir, we thank once again for a detailed talk on the interesting topic, which is also government is insisting that we have to go for privatization in the space sector. So, sir, we can take some few questions from the chat box, sir, and I request members also to ask one or two questions. Sir, one question is there in the chat box, sir. So
Yeah.
just I will put this question, sir. That
Yeah.
is from Arun K. Sir, he has posted a question like this: or a startup which is better by supplying equipment or items to ISRO or other large players, or enter directly into building a rocket or satellites?
Today, if you ask me, I don't think both of them are not the one actually, which I will recommend actually. It's a ground segment activity, because ground segment activity constitutes 65, 62, 68% of the business actually, but not many people are aware of it. So ground tracking, telemetry and control and operations and maintaining the space assets in space is going to be a great activity. And if you can see, it's a tour activity which doesn't have much of risk actually. It's a known activity. And only thing you should have hired or should be having own set of ground stations. Or now, even today, I had a discussion with one of the upcoming startup, Kepler, based in Bangalore. Actually, it was our own employees, ex-employees, children only started it. Actually, they are doing very well now. They hired 20 space stations all across the world, and they are maintaining space asset maintaining as well as telemetry, command and control and operations they are taking, and they are earning a good revenue. Investment also is not much, and it's a sure shot actually. You don't have much risk involved, like launch vehicle design or experiment. So this is a big business which is coming up. Not many people are aware of it. And some of the people who are clever, was very having a good business acumen, are really making good profit out of this segment right now. 68% of your entire space business, other than space technology development, downstream activities, the upstream. What I mean is the upstream, 68% is actually a ground segment support system, software as well as real activities, service sector.
So the one more question we will take, sir. Here currently in launch vehicle, HAL is the party getting most of the responsibility. SSLV, PSLV, and probably LVM3 in future. Don't you think that HAL will be overloaded, and how we can grow other than other industries?
See, today to see that our requirement of producing by ISRO itself is coming down as such right now. So HAL, even if it is overloaded, they are at the liberty to, because they themselves have taken up the activity, they are at the liberty to develop other parties also if required. We cannot stop them from developing other parties as if required. They want to do it alone, they can do it alone. Or if they want to do it with the partnership base with some other thing, they can always develop. But the responsibility of ISRO to develop another party has come down like anything right now, because with the kind of responsibility shutting off to industries. So we can concentrate at least on other research and other deep space missions and other activities. So I don't think any capacity limitation will be there for HAL. If should they require, they can always go for other industries with the permission of ISRO. It is not limited actually.
One more last question is there in the chat box. There is FDI threat to indigenous industries?
FDI is not a threat at all. FDI actually should be selectively allowed. It is not just like that randomly allowed. The FDI has to make they have to make an application if the threat to India, actually Indian industry, we will not allow that actually. Even if they are 100%, they can come and automatically, we won't allow it actually. If it's the monopolistic thing, what we are still importing only, if we are getting a benefit of technology leapfrogging by that company and coming the product to India only, we are going to allow that. It is a selective licensing actually we are going to follow in space at least. Not like any other like KFC or any other thing or whatever coming from outside. For example, if you see Berkshire and Toms came here and started making pharmaceutical things in India. So all these things were some time back. We had no policy at all those days actually. So here, even the consumer base and other things are not, but space is not like that. Space is a strategic sector. So if there is a threat to the indigenization, actually what is happening, but indigenization definitely is costly. None of the indigenous products are cheaper than the import. You must understand that we are paying heavily and making it just because of the self-reliance. Just to see that we are self-reliant in the strategic sector, so that nobody can choke our neck in the future by sanctions and embargoes.
Sir, due to lack of time, so we will stop, sir. Well, I thank once again on behalf of SSI Trivandrum chapter for this wonderful topic. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night to all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.